This is the flyer. It's actually this flyer here, and we're going to use this as an example document. Who of you is actually at least sometimes using InDesign? So most of you. Okay. So the principles are the same in other applications. So if you follow the principles and you find the right menus and everything else in Microsoft Word, you would be approaching it in a similar fashion. Of course, all the menus look different, and the appearance of the software is different. So this is a document that was prepared for print production. So originally, we did not have accessibility right away in our mind. But of course, it's a good idea, especially with this topic on the flyer, to actually make the PDF accessible. And if you go back to the list of items, we first want to start with establishing a semantic role of the content. And that means that you identify, for example, where your headings are, and then tell the document this is a heading, and this is maybe a paragraph. Typically, you would also want to identify where there are any lists, and then organize the list as lists, and not just as a visual arrangement that looks like a list. There's stuff we don't have here, like you have tables, for example. You would be using table mechanisms to actually design the table and get a few settings right. And using MadeToTag, which is a plugin for InDesign, you can just install it. Did I not clean this up? Let me just quickly. It installs in InDesign just as in the other plugin. It's currently free of charge until June 30, so there's a few months left where you can play around with it in an unlimited fashion. We still have not set the price. I think I have to do this real soon. The price for a single version will be between 100 and 150 euro initially. So it's not very expensive.
Will all the versions downloaded so far, will they expire? Or?
Yeah, you will get a dialogue telling you this software is expiring. Do you want to buy a full license and things like that? So, and for a number of reasons, something I do right away when I install MadeToTag is I combine it with the article panel, because we will need this a lot in later steps of our work. So first thing is to establish the semantic roles, or what we call define and review export tags. That's the mechanism how you establish the semantic role. So let me just rearrange the window slightly. So you have this flyer, and usually one of the first things you should do is to understand what your heading structure is. So where's the top level heading, where are subheadings, and so on. In this case, it's very easy, and it will be easy to agree what the headings are. But there are some documents, like a magazine, for example, where you start somewhere, say this is heading 2, heading 3, heading 4, and then you say, maybe no, maybe not. Maybe it's just one level up or one level down, depending on what the complete structure of the document is. It makes a lot of sense to figure this out at the beginning, because if you are halfway through the document and you realize you have to put everything one level up or one level down, it's just a lot of extra work. One very important thing is the heading structure is about the structure. It's not about the appearance. It does not matter how big or how small the heading is. It's about the structure and how you can kind of walk in the structure and find the next thing of interest. It's a common mistake for people starting tagging, that they think bigger things must always be on a higher level. So if it's bigger, it must be heading level 2, and if it's smaller, it must be heading level 6, for example, because it's so small, it's impossible that it could be heading level 3. No, that's wrong. Forget about appearance. Just think about the structure of the content. And you can see instances where just because of size, something is heading level 6. And those goes back to bad habits in HTML use, where you use headings for formatting. And if heading level 6 looks better than heading level 3, the right heading level, you still use heading level 6, because it takes so long to talk to the web developer and make him understand that the formatting has to be different for heading level 3. So this is a bad habit. So please always focus on a clean structure, and after having heading level 2, if you go down, the next one is obviously heading level, from heading level 1 is heading level 2. It's not heading level 6, except for very, 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 very rare occasions that should never happen. It's okay to go up, so if you have a subsection, a subsection, a subsection of a subsection, and then you ended up at heading level 5, and then you start the next new chapter, then you can go up to heading level 1. But don't go from heading level 1 to anything else than heading level 2. The next thing that causes problems in the brains of some people is that we don't have a title tag. So if you look at the topmost piece on the right-hand side, like the PDF/UA, maybe that's kind of the title of the flyer. It's the PDF UA flyer, right? And if we had a title tag, we would use the title tag to say this is the title. And then below that, we would be using heading level 1, heading level 2. But we don't have a title tag. We have one in 1 or 2 years, but not now. What some people would consider a title, we probably would have to use the heading level 1 tag for this. So in this case, the kind of the big thing, the PDF UA, that's heading level 1. It's the topmost heading, and everything is either below it or next to it. So if you have a longer document, there may be another portion of the document with the heading level 1.
Is there any problem if in the future we're getting a title tag, for example, where then afterwards it should be kind of level 0 if you want to have retrocompatibility?
Yeah,
would it be easy to move from one to another?
It will, I think, mostly depend on the software that is making use of the tags. But as you were just saying, you could think of it as a heading level 0. And it's the important thing is that the structure is consistent. Mm-hmm. And I would guess that once we have a title tag in the next version of PDF, some of the assistive technology software and then the specialized PDF reading software will just think this is heading level 0.
Yeah, go with one.
Yeah. So let's tell InDesign this is heading level 1. So the style sheet name already is heading level 1 or H1. That's by coincidence. But what is called the PDF export tag, the semantic role used for export to PDF, is to automatic. So InDesign can make some guesses. Most of the time, it's just putting P for paragraph there. But it's better to tell InDesign what it is. So we would say this is a heading level 1. And I'll zoom in a little bit so you can actually see and recognize something. We would say for the purpose of exporting to a tag PDF, assume this is a heading level 1. Yeah. And you will recognize there's also some text about EPUB and HTML export. InDesign uses the same internal data for export to tag PDF and for HTML or EPUB export. But then there are also possibilities to do it slightly differently for PDF export and EPUB and HTML export. So that's why you see two possibilities to say this is a heading level 1. I could call this heading level 4, but of course it will not make a lot of sense. So let's call this heading level 1 as well. So when exporting to tag PDF, it would characterize this piece of text as heading level 1, and it would also do the same for export to EPUB or HTML.
Just a silly question. Does it lower capital does it have any special meaning? Or?
No, I think it goes back to history, and so for export to EPUB and HTML, there's a trend to rather use lowercase because officially it does not matter. As far as I think, I would have to look this up whether it matters in PDF. Most of the time, case is important in PDF, upper or lowercase, and it's not necessarily important for HTML. Who of you is doing export to EPUB or HTML or things like that? Like from InDesign? Okay. So MadeToTag has originally been designed for export to tag PDF, so it really focuses on tag PDF, but some of the side effects also make it easier to produce better EPUB or HTML. So now we have told InDesign this is heading level 1. It's actually just for those of you who are wondering, well, is this really something new? You could be doing the same thing. You could be doing the same thing from within the paragraph styles. You could, for example, go to the heading 1 style options, go to export tagging, and you see essentially the same possibility to take something for EPUB and HTML as heading 1, or for PDF. And there's also a dialog only reachable from the paragraph styles dialog, where you can edit all export tags in one go. So you have a list of all the styles, and you can assign the roles for EPUB and for PDF. But as you will see, you will not need this. You can just use MadeToTag. So anyway, so we have identified heading level 1. Question, this text here. What is it? Okay, so Christian is saying heading level 2, and Jens is saying it's just a normal paragraph. This is another instance where initially you get blinded by the visual appearance of the text. It's relatively large, but structurally it's just some information under heading level 1, so it's not itself a heading. And actually it would not help you to tag this as a heading. If you are not sure whether to tag something as a heading or not, think whether you want to have this show up in your table of contents. So of course the topmost thing must show up in the table of contents, yeah? But maybe this is just content. So if it's just content, we tag it as a paragraph. It's kind of the base tag for all the content. So I will put this to P, and the same here. And I'm always doing this on a paragraph style basis. So it's not that I go to every paragraph and do it one paragraph by paragraph. I do it based on the style sheet. So all the style sheets that happen to be using, that are applied to some text somewhere, then it will also impact that. Then we have a list. And a list is special because encoding a list properly in tag PDF is not trivial, because you have a list container and there's list items. In the list items you have the label or the bullet, and you have the actual label content, and you have numbering styles and so on. So coding this by hand is not funny. So actually InDesign does it all for you if you actually use the list feature. As you know, in the paragraph style for InDesign there's a list feature. You can tell InDesign this is a list. Please use bullets, or this kind of bullet, and round bullets, and square bullets, or whatever, or numbers, and you can define the numbering scheme and everything, so it's very powerful and flexible. If you use that, InDesign does the right thing. If you do like visual formatting, it just looks like a list, like you put a character at the beginning, an empty space, and some text, and then the same thing on the next line, but it's not formatted as a list, then it's very bad for tag PDF. And it's bad working style anyway. You should not be working like this. The next time you have to do something to the document, you have to do all the manual things again, as opposed to just changing a setting in your paragraph style. And because InDesign does it in automatic fashion, if and when it is a list, we actually do not assign something like paragraph or heading here. InDesign is doing the right thing. That's kind of the only occurrence where we just leave the PDF export tag at automatic. So now we could continue, and let's look at some of the other stuff. So I briefly go to the second page and then go back. So it seems like we have just a second heading level. So it doesn't go any deeper than that. We just have the main heading and then some headings below. So I could go, let's say, to this guy here and say, well, you're heading level 2. And then I would have to double check whether all of the other guys here are also heading level 2. So this is heading level 2, so this is covered. This guy is covered. And let's check here. And so they all seem to be using the same style sheet. And let me put H2 here as well. Yeah. But you can easily see that if you have, let's say, a 32-page brochure, it's not very funny to go through the document and click here and click there. It's the same style sheet, doesn't have the right tag and so on. It would be so much nicer if you have some quick way of understanding what's going on. And this way actually does exist. So there's an option in MadeToTag that has possibility to highlight export tags by color. So each tag shows up in a different color. And I'll just enable this, and you will see some coloring. So all the orange is pointing to the fact that there's a headline, a heading. The blue points out this is a paragraph. The green is for lists. So it gives me some very obvious visual feedback about what I'm doing here. So I could quickly scroll through my document and, for example, look at all the headings and find out whether they are tagged as a heading and whether the heading level is right. On the projector, it's not showing very well, but it's different tints of orange for the headings. And so it's getting lighter if it's getting a higher number. So you can quickly, at least on a good monitor, you will see, okay, this is more orange and this is more yellow, and then you can find out. So you can quickly check what's going on. And then you have to do the same for the remaining part of the content. And here again, it's like you click and you go to the pop-up menu and you choose the right thing. Okay, it could be faster, couldn't it be? So that's why we have special shortcuts in MadeToTag. And you have to enable them because they temporarily override the shortcuts that you have. You know, the shortcut mechanism in InDesign is very powerful. You can have a shortcut for just about everything. And you may have a shortcut for a certain feature already, so it's very difficult to assign in an automatic fashion our own shortcuts. So what we do is, if you enable the MadeToTag shortcuts, we put the current shortcuts on the side and override some of the shortcuts so that we have our shortcuts. And if you disable this checkbox, we pull the remembered shortcuts back into the system.
So you need a shortcut to check and uncheck the box.
Yeah, you have to set this once, and then you have the shortcut. Yeah. I think it should be possible because everything that MadeToTag has to offer is in this menu, and it has a use MadeToTag shortcut set, and you could use the shortcut editor to assign a shortcut to the shortcut.
You are using standard shortcut editor feature in InDesign.
Yeah.
Shortcut set.
Yeah. So behind the scenes, we are just putting a setting on the side, and then we are reactivating the setting. And we try not to do too many private things. Okay. So it makes the whole thing more stable and predictable. So I have enabled the shortcut. And as I briefly showed, there's many shortcuts. You will not learn them all in this morning. But there's an export tags. That's too much. There are several export tags shortcuts. And using option 1, option 2, and so on, you can assign an export tag to the current text. And surprisingly, option 1 would be heading 1, option 2, heading 2. So it's not that difficult to remember. Option 7 is for paragraphs, and then you have something like an artifact and list. And do we? Okay, you will have to ask René for why this is the case. Okay, so if I do option 7 now, and I'm in this area of the text here. You see that this is turning blue, so this is good. This is what I wanted. It's a paragraph. But everything else using the same style sheet now is also blue, obviously, because the export tag is married to the paragraph style. So I have expressed that this is all just normal paragraph-based text. There's a few pieces missing here. So, and this is bold, right? But it's not a heading. So it's just content. So be brave and just say this is a paragraph. I have something left here, the URLs below the logos. So I just do option 7 and it's blue, so it's also paragraph. I have a small copyright thing here. This is also just a content paragraph. And It looks like I'm already done. You will see that if you tag your own documents, you have to do a lot of tagging on the first few pages maybe, but then you have touched all the paragraph styles that are used in the document, and then you're more or less done.
And if you take the example of that document and you would have used the normal InDesign feature,
Yeah.
would have been the result the same, or things
Yeah.
missing or mistakes?
No, so all the information we put inside the InDesign document is just normal InDesign data, so it's not private data.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, we could have been doing the same thing using the paragraph styles window with the export tags feature. It's the same thing. You also see that this has changed a little bit. So there's some P's and some H2 here. That's why that's because I just applied it.
It doesn't mean that if I open the tag InDesign document in InDesign where I have not MadeToTag, I can open it.
Yeah, there's no difference.
Some plugins
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
I cannot open the file in InDesign without this.
Yeah. We'll pay a lot of attention that this is not going to happen. So far there's no private information in the InDesign document. It's just the same thing as if you had done it just using InDesign. It's just faster. And also the color coding is just temporary drawing, so it's not stored in the document. It was stored in some earlier versions in the pre-release cycle, but we quickly fixed that. And it's, if you save the document, there's no information about the color coding, just the normal export tags.